Hi guys, welcome to another CodeFilm. Alright, so we are starting a new series on CodeFilms, and this series is more of small programs that we actually come across in the real world. It's not only in that direction, but we're also trying to implement solutions that software can help us implement. So this is more of real life applications or real life programs. If you are coming from a Unix environment, or if you have some Unix experience, you do realize that there's a bin folder on that machine that you have your Linux operating system, and the essence of that folder is to have a handset of programs that can assist you with daily activities that you use while interacting with the Unix system. Example is mv, chmod, date, cat, just to name a few essential programs that you need when you are working with your Unix environment. So that's what we are going to look at in this CodeFilm. So it's more of technology, algorithms, and solutions. So yeah, if you're still struggling to get the direction, I think you should check out what the bin folder is on the Unix environment or platform. Alright, so let's just get straight into it. So which of the solutions are we going to look at the moment? So I have a number of them here, but we're going to take them one by one, and the reason is that we want to appreciate or see the how it was implemented from code to real life scenarios. So the first of them we want us to look at is HowLongService. And someone asks, what's the meaning of how long? If you take a platform like YouTube, let's try and go to YouTube, and whenever you create a post on YouTube, it's able to tell you, you upload a video, it's able to tell you how long that video has existed on that platform. For example, is if you take let's just take this video, Mencho's Cattle Island just got raided by Texas Rangers. We know the user that created it, and we know how long this video has been on the platform. So it has been on the platform for 2 weeks, so it has been 2 weeks ago since it has been on the platform. So that helps you to know if it's current or if it's not current enough. If you take another one like this from this user or this YouTuber, you see that it says that this is just a day ago. That means like yesterday relative to today's date, that's 7th or Sunday. So that just helps you to know how long the video has been. So if tomorrow comes and this is going to be 2 days ago, so every time it's keeping you in sync in real time for you to know that this video is just is today, is tomorrow, it's a month ago. So it helps you to have that the time frame of the video, how long the video has been on the platform. So instead of you trying to figure out is it current or not, they've written a program or they have a solution that helps you to that does that for you. A very good example too is with WhatsApp. So let me slide to my WhatsApp. Alright, so I'm here on my WhatsApp. So you do realize that when I come to WhatsApp, it says recent updates. I have this 34 minutes ago, 54 minutes ago, I have the time, I have this, I have that, and it says yesterday. So whenever I'll look at this one just says just now, because the person or the user has just created some content or has created something, and that object has been recorded as just now. So if I also go ahead and create a post, let's say I just, not even a camera post, just any post. For instance, if I say I'm typing something and I go ahead and type hello, I'll disconnect my internet for now, I don't want to share anything, and I go ahead and I send this. It says sending, so it's going to, when it does come up live, it's going to show the time that I posted it, just as I have created it. So when I create it, it goes, we won't go into too much of the technical details. Then when it's ready, let's get back. When it's ready, it comes back and then it shows you the time. So there's something that goes on the back end that lets all this happens. So that's what we want to take away here. So yeah, so now it says 1 minute ago. We saw that this was now 1 minute ago. So it keeps tracking. So if you have to wait till another minute at 10 44, we're going to see that it's going to say 2 minutes ago, and that's real time. That's real time. It's real time as compared to what we're seeing on YouTube. All right, so let's just let this go to 2 minutes ago. Then we switch back to our desktop or our laptop. Yeah, so that's the CodeFilm we want to look at today. That's the how long that object has existed in our platform. Yes, we are tracking its existence. How long it has existed. There's a word, so it says 2 minutes ago. So voila. Right, so we are comfortable now, and I'll explain something. All right, so we are back here. So realize that that was just for the mobile side, and that's a different implementation. Other implementations will probably have something different. So if you go to bbc.com and you do want to check how long a post has been there, and this is quite new. So this one says 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 6 hours ago. Some may depend. Yeah, I won't go too much into that. But I just want to show that we've been able to do this and it's working. While I'm saying that if you hit the request on it, it depends. Some is on request. Upon request, then it's being updated. It's a whole lot of design philosophy that goes into this, but we're going to look at one or two ends just for you to know that you can design it in any way. Alright, so that's just, but it depends on the business logic too, not just in any way, but the business logic too as well, or what the solution requires. It's up to you. Alright, so now let's slide into our IDE and start the service. So let's start the service. So I have 3 implementations or 3 objects here, or 3 projects here. I have the how long real-time streaming. This real-time streaming. I have the how long just the REST service. Then I have the HTML client. So this is just the API, but this is the streaming API. So we're going to go with the streaming first, so you actually see that it's working like the normal WhatsApp scenario or use case that we saw. So let's run this. So I'm starting the API or the server to run the API. And this one is Spring Boot, so I'm just starting the service. And it says that it has started on port 8085. So let's go to our client and let's start it on port 8085. So this is a real-time version. Good. So I'm going to stream a date time. So I'll pass the date time as a par variable, which will be the current date time. Then once I hit send, it starts counting as just now. So it keeps counting to 60 seconds. So after 60 seconds, we're going to get a minute, and after another 60 seconds, we're going to get 2 minutes. And that's the implementation that we've done at CodeFilms. We've been able to implement that, and this is a server-side event, so this is more of real-time emphasis. So let's just wait for a while, then let's see how it comes out. Then later on, we'll go into the code of it. Then we look at the other one whereby it's upon request. Whenever you hit onto the platform, the platform now just gives you the latest date. It doesn't count in the case of WhatsApp, or in the case of WhatsApp, or what we are seeing here. So this is just now. So this is the API. So someone say, how will I do this in my role, in my application? You have to find a way of integrating this API or this solution, but this is the API that does that for you, and we have built that for you. So now it says 1 minute ago, which is very fantastic. So let's now slide into our ID and let's start looking at the magic. Okay, so first is that we are looking at something that is regarded in the light of HTTP streaming. So this is more of server sent events. So our normal request response model was you hit a request, then you get a response. That's a normal HTTP communication method that we know of, which is more of the synchronous approach. HTTP streaming or server sent event is more of an asynchronous approach, whereby when it's logged in, when the response is ready, we deliver it to you. So we kind of lock onto the server, then the communication is kept alive. When the server is ready, it sends its response. So you are streaming to the client. From the server. So the client doesn't just get his response just by hitting a request. No, it actually gets logged to the client, to the server, and then the client just listens and keeps getting his response. Sounds, is this similar to WebSocket? It's quite similar, but in the WebSocket direction, you have to actually hit. It's like you give it an object, it also gives you a response. It's like a chatting platform, so you have just one communication line, and then you're having this duplex communication between the client and the server. This is not the case, but it's asynchronous, so that's why it's HTTP streaming. So I'll say it's a technology, or it's another way of communicating with the server. Yeah, so that's just by the way. So this is a work that is doing that for the daytime streaming. So the actual implementation is located in the streaming tags, but the process flow is that it has to have a streaming object. It has to return a stream. That's a server sent event, which is a streaming object, so that once it logs in, the client knows that this is the response that is coming, so it keeps it alive and doesn't terminate the communication. Yeah, so if we go into the process flow for this, or how it was done, this is the line that actually does almost all the work. It's just a daytime period now. I pick the date, I go and do period now, then period now gives me the period. It compares my current date timestamp to the time that is coming. Then when it comes, I know the value, then I emit it. So how do we get the flow of the seconds? The flow of the seconds come by this while loop, and you have to write everything. This is being written, it was written by us. So while true, then we keep counting. So the true block exists here, just exists here, and then so we keep going. That's why it's continuous. The flow is continuous because of the while through. It just keeps going, and at every 60 seconds we wait. So we put the thread to sleep after 60 seconds. So it comes, it shoots its fire, then it sleeps for 60 seconds. After 60 seconds, it gets up again. When it gets up, there's nothing here for it to continue. So it just goes, locks on the while through here. Then it comes back again and starts its work again. So when it starts its work again, because of the implementation we've written here, it will actually give you the next minute or next hour. And we wrote this. Period now was written by CodeFilms, so you have to write all this. So if you do period now, as I explained, you just take the current date time and the date that you passed. Then someone asks, how do you know if it's seconds or minutes or hours? And that's because we have another implementation at the top here that helps you to find out whether it is seconds, minutes or hours, and then reroute all this. So it does all that magic for you. So get interval. Yeah. And so it was written by CodeFilms. Yeah, someone say, wow, it's quite it looks some way, but yeah. So just take period now, first of all, period now, and you pass it to pass post direction. Pass post direction will give you the actual how long. So if you come here and we go to the outline, outline, control, so pass post direction. Yeah, so pass post direction will take that time. Then we start checking so many things, and we get the interval with this method too. So we get interval to we'll go and do its work. Yeah, so that's the logic. Yeah, the code is available on GitHub, so it's actually working. So before we go, the takeaway I want us to look out here is the server side event. So what's server sent event? Sorry. So I'll copy this, and I'll create another server sent event. So this one will handle text, and this one will be we are streaming for text, and then we'll pass a text. and to be that of a text, and then we will pass this as text. Yeah, so and then we will make this a text. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to create a text streaming background task, and we will explain this one later on. Text streaming background task. So what it means is that when the client logs onto the server, he doesn't terminate. We're just going to stream a text, just for you to know that is the while through, and the while through here, and the thread or sleep here is giving it that real time effect, that simulation of real time, and we have to write that. So we're going to create our own text object here. So we'll call this one my text streaming background task. Alright, so that's the object. Then let's create a class for that, as simple as, let's just do the class for this. So just do a new class. I'll call it my, not even creating, let's just copy it. Copy what we already have and just remove what we don't need, or delete the lines that we don't need. Alright, so let's call this my text streaming background task. And the reason it's a background task is because we're explaining the server side, the server sent event timeout principle. So when we come here now, we have what we need. So say we are emphasizing that is the while through, that helps us with the simulation. So we'll kill this, and we'll also kill this. And what we'll kill is we're gonna kill the thread or sleep, and this time around we're gonna kill how long. Let's wait a while. Sorry. Let's kill this one as well. No, we won't kill this. Let's kill this. Alright. So we are okay now. So now what we do is that we'll pass in the text. When we pass in the text, we emit the text. So let's go back to our controller step by step. So we'll pass the text. Then when we pass the text, we'll stream the text. We'll just display the text. So let's go back. So we do that with my moment. So this is my moment. We actually created a class for that. So let's use the class object. That's my text. Let's just do this as my text streaming background text, and then we'll add this to it too. Alright, so we are fine now. Let's just replace the objects here. Alright, so we are good now. So this is perfect. So before we continue, there's a streaming length to it. When you log onto the server, you can't always, the client is connected to the server for a period of time. For now, we're using 24 hours, but based on your business logic, you may want to go with 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, it times out and the connection will be closed. So the connection is not always open. It's based on the timeout event that we set for it. So later on, we'll look at WebSockets too as well, because there will be some form of confusion between this and WebSocket, but there's no confusion. WebSocket is a different principle. This is normal REST APIs, but they are streaming with an object that allows streaming. So it's the object you are using, but WebSocket is a different communication mechanism. Alright, so this is the reason we're just trying to do something asynchronously, yeah, but with time. Alright, so now we are okay here. Now let's go here. When we get the text, we want to say that how long. Let's just make how long to be equal to moment. Alright, and because an object, we have to downcast this. So downcast to a string, then we emit it. So which means that for any text that we send, the connection will be open alright, but it's not going to give us that continuous flow that we saw, or that continuous delivery of messages that we saw in the daytime streaming. So we are okay now, and we are going to run this. Yeah, this time we use a shortcut key. So just one of the BIM programs. This is just one. We have a lot of interesting programs coming from CodeFilms. So aside the normal enterprise stuff we do, this is more of the real life scenarios. So our server is up. So let's go into that directory. Let's duplicate this. Sorry if you're hearing some background music here. Unfortunately, my country is a holiday, so people are doing their religious activities. So let's see the directory for this. So streaming moments text. So we are going to go here. So we are streaming moment text, which we've gotten. Okay, I think it's the same. Let's just be sure. Yeah, streaming moment text. Yeah. And then next is that we need to pass a path variable of text. Yeah. Then let's send hello world. Alright, so let's send this to our server and see what we get. So it says hello world. So hello world is the only event that is coming. You realize that we are not getting anything from the data from the server because we've disabled the while loops, we've disabled the sleep. Just for you to know that what you saw in this implementation was actually real time. And we had to make it real time based on the understanding of HTTP streaming, but this is just showing nothing. So if you want to continue, let's just make this small update. So now let's enable this, and let's enable this, and once we've enabled that, now let's while through this. But before we while through, let's give some IDs. Int ID is equal to 0. And what we're going to say is that for every time we do our output of the hello world, we want to also give it an ID. So we'll say hello world, and we'll say that okay, then what's your ID? You say my ID is the concat of the ID plus plus. When we do ID plus plus, when we increase it by ID, let's just make it a string, the value of it, and we say ID plus plus. So all that we're trying to say is that for every how long we'll show the new ID to it, so that you realize that it's coming from the server and it's existing because of the HTTP streaming concept that we just explained. This is just for a quick walkthrough. So if we come back now, the connection has closed. Later I'll drop the article to this if you want to go further. So we send it now. So it's even it has gotten to 207 already. Alright, so now let's add the sleep. So let's sleep for every 5 seconds. It's not nice to have this run up and down like that. So now you've seen it for ourselves. So let's sleep. If you sleep for 5 seconds, every 5 seconds we're going to have updates. And this is a very beautiful concept because you can actually do so many things inside this tags that you have here. So a lot of activity can take place all the way down here to the top here. Talk to some database, implement some communication mechanisms. It depends on your business logic, but it takes you to a different world when it comes to the development you want to do, which makes it interesting. So it's not just cast in stone, that it's just for you to get a first look at the concept. So now let's start this again and let's run it. So this is just one implementation. This is a real-time event. Next time we look at the static event, or the normal request response the synchronous way. So every 5 seconds you should see a new emission. That's what we are saying. We are putting this thread to sleep, and the thread we are putting to sleep is the my text background text. We'll put it to sleep for 5 seconds. I hope we saved everything. Yeah, let's just save everything. So we make the thread sleep, then it comes back up alive. So let's go to the ID, and let's you didn't close this connection. Okay. It's logged in. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go this. Let's clear messages. I think because of the way it's like a stack. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see. Let's come back here. Okay, let's copy this again. I think this one is no longer active. Let's copy this. Postman client seems to just give me this wait for a while and keep everything. I think the client is a little bit sleepy on this. Alright, so our ID is back. So let's start the application. Yeah, the client became a little. Sorry, our client is back. The client wasn't functioning properly because of the server-side event that it got logged onto. Yeah, so we're okay. We started this client again. So let's send the request. So this is the first. So after 5 seconds, we have. So this is the first. Sorry, it's quick. So this is the first text that came. 5 seconds. Then after every 5 seconds, we get a new text. So the next one is going to be 15:3. So this is the real-time event. So this you can see. You actually see that it's actually streaming in real time. You can actually see the numbers counting, the IDs and the text. So that's the incorporation of the loops and the sleep. So I think now you get how we are doing the how long now. So that's just the direction. Alright, so this is just one implementation. Now let's quickly go ahead and do that for and when you see this, the reason I'm seeing this is because it has already been completed. In other words, when you close the connection, there's no way you can send the events again. So it's a server sent event. That's why it's server sent. So yeah, once you shut it down, that's it. And the timeout bit of it. So now the next implementation we want to look at is just the REST service. Let's just look at the REST service. So we've looked at the real-time streaming, and let's just look at the REST or the synchronous service. So we have we'll go to the alt REST controller, and then we're going to look at the check how long. Yeah, so this is what we're going to look at. So this one is just request response. So we're going to run this and look at how it differs from what we did initially. So let's go to version 1. Yeah, 8080. Let's start the service. So we have two different services, but the same problem, but two different implementation. The same problem, but two different implementation. So this on 8080. So let's go ahead and let's submit. Let's send a request to this API. So when we hit the request, it tells you that just now since created. So this is another API you can use. So it depends on your business logic. So this one is not asynchronous, is not streaming. Nope, I just send a request, then it tells me. So I have to wait maybe after a minute. Then when I send a request, it will tell me something else. But because I'm using ISO current timestamp, anytime I send it, it's going to be just now because I'm using the current timestamp. But in other implementation, it's not like so, because we've written a whole process flow to handle that for us. So once we send our request, it will stream. unfortunately the service is down, so we can start it will stream for us. So just for you to appreciate what we are seeing here. So if you still don't get the gist, let's get a timestamp here. Let's see if we can get a timestamp from our logs. Let's send one. Now change the timestamp. Alright, I think I should have it. I should be able to log something. Oh, that's bad of me. I didn't log the time. Alright, let's log it. Let's log it. That's very bad of me. Yeah, log SCA2 as well. Okay, quick one. Let's just do SS out, okay? Let's just do SS out. And let's see the time sent or timestamp sent. Timestamp sent. Okay. Sorry. We'll use the submitted timestamp. So we'll get the time sent here. So let's go ahead and get this. And there, fire. I think now you should see this now. So this is the time we are getting. Wonderful. So let's tweak this. And let's now make it a different time. So you can see that we are the ones going to be changing this real time effect. This is 2024 0744. Alright, so let's just go back to another year. Let's make it 2023 and send this request. And it tells you 1 year ago. So this one you can see that as upon request, then we get a new update. If you also change, if you don't change the years, and we come back and we want to use dates now, let's go back to 11th and let's send this. That's 11 days ago, so I'm saying 11th of July. If you check our calendar too, 11th of July was 3 days ago, so that was Thursday. So we're going back 3 days ago. Yeah, so this is not real time. This is an API and just a REST service. So this is one implementation. So these are the only two implementations we are going to look at. And this is the HowLongService. So this is the HowLong service that we've just discussed. Yeah, so that'll be for this CodeFilm. So before I will go away, someone say, how did I write this, or how is this written? And the process is that it always starts with the second. So that's the solution. So we wrote it, so it was written as seconds, then to minutes, then to hours, then you do your work. Yeah, so that's it for this CodeFilm. So that's what I'm saying, that the bin is going to be of real life programs and real life scenarios that you want to tackle. So that'll be for this CodeFilms. And before we go, let's just enjoy the streaming again. Alright, so this is CodeFilms for you. And if you like this video, kindly subscribe. If you also have questions, kindly comment. And you can reach out to us on our email addresses if you have any problem. So stay tuned for more CodeFilms. There are more solutions that are coming out, and aside the enterprise we are doing, we're going to be tackling what we see and what we get. Just to give you a gist of what's coming up next, let's look at this. Have you realized that when you go to some website, it's actually able to tell you, let's go to the Oracle website for example. So I'm going to Oracle website. When I come to Oracle website, you know, I'm browsing. Good, I'm just browsing. Then it tells me that, would you like to visit an Oracle country site closer to you? And it says visit Oracle Ghana. It has been able to tell my country by just connecting to it. So how does this work? You understand? So if I take the same laptop and I go to China, it's going to suggest something for me from China. You get it? And that's very beautiful. And then the beauty comes in content. So the next code we'll be looking at will be location content filtering. Location content filtering, just to whet your appetite. There are some platforms that when you go to, example, you go to some movies platform. Let's don't have Netflix. I don't do Netflix. Let's just do it. As if you go to netflix.com and probably you want to watch some videos or some films, they tell you that probably this film or this video or this service is not available in your country right now. Good. This one even routes me to Netflix, what, Ghana. You get it? So, but if I go to the US, it's going to give me Netflix US. If I go to South Africa, Netflix South Africa. So how is this working? Or what's the principle behind it? You get it? Yeah, so it says Netflix Ghana here. So that will be the next CodeFilms for us, which is the location content filtering gateway. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned, and then keep your questions coming. Alright, that'll be it. Thank you.